Todd Bouchard there from the Toronto Star. Did you model the way this team plays and specifically attacks on anything that you've done or seen in the NHL?
Yeah, a lot of the principles that we're using here, club teams use, whether it's our team in Edmonton or taking it back to San Jose, there's a lot of the principles that we put in place. We've gathered ideas from the rest of the coaching staff, Florida, Tampa, Arizona, and tried to look at the hand we were dealt and tried to play that hand to its strengths. Thus far, it's been okay for us, but we didn't want to force a system on them that didn't fit our team. We have a team identity, and it's based around pace and quickness and speed and attack, and we built our system off of that. So, but there's nothing. We're not reinventing the wheel, I guess, if that's what you're asking us.
Is it because of the amount of skill you've got that they can just execute those principles together at that high a level?
Okay. Yeah, this team's different than your club team. With your club team, you're not exposed to that much talent. You just don't get it. You manage a cap situation. You have role players that have to play 82 games. Block shots. Some guys play a rugged role. You're playing 82 nights. You're playing road games against rivals that you know well and they know you well. This is a different atmosphere. It's a different event. So there's a lot of differences between club hockey and tournament hockey, in my opinion.
Coach Rahul Vaidyanathan from Epoch Times. Can you talk about your top two defensemen and how much time on ice they get as compared to perhaps what happens in other club teams and the job that they've done, Ekblad and Riley?
Well, they obviously play a lot, as does anybody's club team, top two defensemen. There's D-men now in our game, National Hockey League game, that are playing 25, 26 minutes a night. And it's because their skill set's so good. They have a tendency to manage themselves well during the night. They use up energy when they really need to, and they're not wasting it anywhere else. And I had 3 years of watching Nick Lidstrom. There wasn't a better D-man in the era that I've been around at doing that. He knew when to go, how to go, and how hard to do it. Our young defensemen are doing a very admirable job of that. But for us, it's the group of six. But the forwards have to insulate them and surround them with good back pressure and help them out as well. So I thought last night was our best night defensively as a team. It will have to get better as the tournament goes on.
Todd, François Gagnon from RDS in Montreal. You said last night after the game that you had a good group and it became a good team. It doesn't come overnight, but can you pinpoint something that happened that made that turn happen?
Not necessarily. There wasn't a moment that jumped out and we said, hey, we've got it now. The timeline of us coming together, day one in Montreal, they arrive, they have their physicals, we have a team meeting, and then we immediately go to a team dinner. And at that point, you could see there was barriers. Not big ones, nothing that we couldn't knock down, but you had a tendency to see Americans and Canadians a little bit separate. You had junior and college, you had Western League in Quebec, you had club teams with club teams, but it didn't take long for that to come down. And it hasn't been orchestrated by the coaching staff. We haven't artificially said, hey, let's go play tennis or go bowling or anything like that, team building stuff. We don't have enough time. It's come from within the locker room, and they've done a real good job of it together as a group.
Coach, what's the biggest challenge in getting a group to play to the caliber that you did last night, now just 24 hours later?
Back-to-back games are a big challenge for anybody. The evening games, obviously the physical part and getting the motor running again is going to be a challenge for us. But the Russian team has to do the same thing, so it's not an unlevel playing field. But what we have to understand is that yesterday ended, and all of that hard work, it's hard to start again and do it all over. We can't look for shortcuts. We can't look for an area to cheat in. We have to understand how hard it was yesterday and know that it's going to be even harder today. And that'll be the mental part of the game that we'll try and bang into them a little bit. And if they accept that and they're willing to give us everything they have, we have a chance.
Martin McGuire, French radio broadcast of the tournament. Coach, would you say that after last night's games, your guys are committed to show that they can be good defensively in a structure?
I think that's a good observation, because everybody's giving them credit for the attack and the offensive plays, which is really fun to watch. But they begin because they're doing something else right. We watch the video, and it would be nice to watch it from the blue line in tic-tac-toe and it's in the net. But you've got to take it back further, and there's a commitment level that the players have to get to or are getting to that allows them to do that and go the other way. So they want to show the world and the rest of the hockey community that they have the ability to defend and check and take some pride in that part of the game as well.
Todd, do you go back with Matt Murray tonight first? Yes. And then Evgeny Kuznetsov said kind of the Russian plan is, all young players kind of come to the league and they can play with the puck. He thinks a lot of these young guys may struggle playing without the puck. So they, the Russians, as they tend to do, want to spend a lot of time with the puck to see how the kids respond to that. How do you see, you know this group well, how do you see them responding if the Russians do start to generate a lot of time?
Well, I think I've just answered that question, because we've got to take pride in playing defensively, and our group will do that. The game plan for them, it may match our game plan. We may want to play with the puck a little bit too, so it'll start with face-offs. Can we win more than they have? It'll start with loose puck battles, and I think the Russians have always been good players at using their body position and stripping. Pavel Datsyuk may be the best in the world at picking your pocket and stripping and then holding on to it. So we'll talk to our team about those types of situations. We've got to do that before we get to offense, before we get to making nice plays. We've got to do those things first. But we'll take the game as it comes, and maybe we can counter with our own puck possession game and see what they do.
Thank you, Todd. Thank you, guys.